Mambo vipi? Hujambo? I'm Mr. Victor Geoffrey, your Swahili teacher. Welcome back to Learn Swahili with me. Karibu sana. Today's lesson, we are going to discuss about Swahili prepositions. Vihusishi. That's our today's lesson that will be discussing about Swahili prepositions. Now, let's see what is a preposition. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun or a verb to show the relationship, especially of place, time, direction, cause, means, etc. So, you are going to see those words that are used to show the relationship between the noun, pronoun, verb, and other words, okay, in Swahili sentences. Or we can say in Swahili, which is preposition means kihusishi, in singular kihusishi, plural is vihusishi. We can say kihusishi ni neno linalowekwa kabla ya nomino au kitenzi kuonyesha uhusiano wa kisarufi. Kawaida vinaonyesha mahali, wakati, mwelekeo, sababu au njia ya kitu au tukio. That is kihusishi or preposition. Now let's see types of Swahili prepositions. There are different types of Swahili preposition. One of the type that we are going to see today is prepositions of place, vihusishi vya mahali. Prepositions of place, vihusishi vya mahali. These are prepositions that tell us where something is. These are the words. They're the words that show us or tell us where something is, the place where something is, the area where something is. So we have different Swahili words or Swahili prepositions that shows show some where something is, shows the place where something is. Here are the key prepositions that we are going to discuss. And these are the prepositional place. They show where certain thing is. Okay, let's see them. We have katika, kwenye, ndani ya. All this means in or inside. In or inside. Katika is in, but it means in English, but in open area. In the open area. For example, you say in the garden, in the football pitch. So the area which is open, and in English you use in. In Swahili, we use katika. For example, you can say, Victor amekaa katika bustani. Victor amekaa katika bustani. That is in, katika. Then kwenye is in. But with the kwenye can be either open area or inside or something which is closed area. Okay? For example, I can say, Victor yuko kwenye bustani. Victor is in the garden. Okay? Victor is in the garden. Or you can say, Victor yuko kwenye chumba. Victor is in the room. Okay? You get me? Victor amelala kwenye kitanda. Victor is sleeping in the bed. So you see the way it is. Now there is ndani ya. Ndani ya means in or inside. In or inside. Uh, uh, all this katika kwenye means me and ndani ya means in or inside, but with ndani ya is closed area. Sometimes you can say within something. Within something. So ndani ya means within. Okay? So you can say juu kitabu kimewekwa ndani ya kabati. Kitabu kimewekwa ndani ya kabati. Ela imewekwa ndani ya mkoba. Okay? So you can make different sentences using ndani ya. Also, there is juu ya. Juu ya. On or above. Juu ya. On or above. So when you use the word juu ya means on or above. For example, you can make a sentence like this. Juma amekaa juu ya meza. Juma is sitting on the table. Victor amekaa juu ya kiti. Victor is sitting on the chair. Okay? You can say, nimeweka simu juu ya kitanda. I have put a phone on the bed. Nimeweka simu juu ya meza. I have put a phone on the table. Okay? So you can see uh, examples like that. Okay? Mtoto amesimama juu ya gari. Mtoto amesimama juu ya gari. A child is standing on or above the car or on the car. Okay? Then let's see chini ya. Chini ya means under. Chini ya means under. Mtoto amejificha chini ya kitanda. The child is hiding under the bed. Mwanafunzi amekaa chini ya meza. A student is sitting under the table. So you can make such different sentences where you use under. In Swahili, we use chini ya. Another sentence you can say kando ya or pembeni ya, which means beside. Kando ya or pembeni ya, which means beside. Kando ya or pembeni ya, which means beside. You can say mama yangu anatembea pembeni ya barabara. My mother is walking beside the road. Mama yangu anatembea pembeni ya barabara. My mother is walking beside the road. Or you can say, mwalimu amejenga kando ya mto. A teacher built beside the river. Nimejenga nyumba yangu kando ya mto. I built my house beside the river. Ninaishi kando ya mlima. I'm living beside the mountain. So you can see this kando ya. Okay. Alex anatembea pembeni ya Fatuma. Alex is walking beside Fatuma. Such kind of the word. Okay. Let's see another word, which is karibu na. Karibu na, which means near. Okay. Near or nearby. Mtoto amekaa karibu na mlango. A child is sitting near by the door. Okay. Amesimama karibu na ukuta. He or she's sitting, sorry. Amesimama karibu na ukuta. He or she's standing near the wall. Okay? Like that. So you can make different sentences using karibu na. Another sentence is mbali na. Mbali na. Far from. Victor anaishi mbali na wazazi wake. Victor is living far from his parents. Victor anaishi mbali na wazazi wake. Victor is living far from his parents. Mimi ninaishi mbali na mji. I am living far from town. Mimi ninaishi mbali na mji. I'm living far from town. Kati ya, which means between or among. Nimekaa kati ya wanawake wawili. I'm sitting between two women. Nimekaa kati ya wanawake wawili. I'm sitting between two women. Mtoto alilala kati ya wazazi wake. Okay? So you can make different sentences using kati ya. Okay? Maybe the tips to take here is that this one is followed by the noun, which is your object or location. They usually come after the verb. That's why you say every sentence that I've put there, these preposition are after the verb. That's why you say nimekaa kati ya, ninaishi karibu na. Karibu na, it comes after the verb. Juu ya, nimeweka kitabu juu ya meza. So you say it starts the verb, then after the verb, it comes the preposition, then it finish up with the noun, which is location. Juu ya meza. So it's usually it followed by the noun. That noun will be showing the location of that area, because our the name of the preposition is the preposition of place. So that's why it shows the location. Okay. Let's see the examples on this. More examples on this. Kitabu kiko katika bag. The book is in the bag. Kalamu iko juu ya meza. The pen is on the table. Viatu viko chini ya kitanda. The shoes are under the bed. Gari liko kando ya duka. The car is beside the shop. Gari liko kando ya duka. The car is beside the shop. Nyumba yetu iko karibu na shule. Our house is near the school. Ofisi yake iko mbali na maji. His office is far from the city, so not maji. Ofisi yake iko mbali na mji. His office is far from the town or city. City is jiji, so this is far from town. Meza iko kati ya viti viwili. The table is between two chairs. Okay? See the way we can use them? Now, let me repeat these examples so that you can master them. Kitabu kiko katika begi. Kalamu iko juu ya meza. Viatu viko chini ya kitanda. Gari liko kando ya duka. Nyumba yetu iko karibu na shule. Ofisi yake iko mbali na mji. Meza iko kati ya viti viwili. Okay, that's about the preposition of place. Okay, this is our lesson of today was only dealing with the preposition of place. The next lesson, you're going to see the preposition of time. The next lesson, we will see the preposition of time. Asante sana for watching my video. Continue subscribing in my channel. You will see a lot of videos. Okay, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and for those who have not yet subscribed for the Patreon payment, you can just patronize me. Okay, asante sana. Let us meet in the next lesson. Kwaheri. Asante. Karibu tena. Remember, if you need a live session, please don't hesitate to contact me. Okay? Asante sana.